If your life was a movie, what role do you play in it? Are you the leading man or leading lady? Or do you always find yourself playing a supporting role in your own story? Today we're going to be talking about how to shift your self-image so that you can step into the main character role of your own story instead of always taking the back seat to play a supporting role. Keep watching. Today's video is brought to you by my mini course, Permission to Suck, Bypassing Perfection, Embracing Potential. This is a 3-lesson course with 3 bonus videos that has been the transition point for hundreds of my clients. Change your relationship with failure for good. Details are in the description box below. Welcome back to Mindset Monday at the Voice Love Company. I'm Christi Bovee. I'm a mindset coach and voice intuitive who works with high-level professionals and pre-professionals, getting them to meet their destiny. I help people find their voice and make their sound in the world, no matter who they are, no matter what they do. Last week, we talked about our upper limit problems that keep us stuck from reaching our zone of genius. I'll leave a card for that episode right here. But what if you can't even see yourself as taking that very first baby step towards your destiny? Back in the 1950s, an American cosmetic surgeon, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, would perform successful surgeries on the faces of people. He created massive physical changes, like reconstructing defects people had had from birth or removing scars that had plagued their self-confidence. Dr. Maltz noticed that there was not only a physical change that happened in his patients after surgery, but there was also a psychological change that manifested itself as well. They not only looked different, but they felt and acted different too. But he also noticed that there were some patients who could never make the psychological switch to seeing themselves in their new post-surgical form. And this led him to hypothesize that we have 2 images: the outward image that we project to the world in our physical appearance, and the inner image that we hold inside. He wrote about it in his book, Psycho-Cybernetics, psyche being Greek for mind, cybernetics being the science of control and communication in the animal and in some machines. I know that's a big word, but basically what he was saying is the inside picture shows itself on the outside. Because if you have a negative or bad image of yourself, your results are going to be a reflection of that. As Dr. Maltz put it, self-image sets the boundaries of individual accomplishment. In other words, you've got a control mechanism in your mind, and it's going to control what's coming into your life. It's controlling whatever you do. It's controlling how well you do it. Quite often we aren't aware of the image we have of ourselves, and that's why I wanted to talk to you about this today. Your self-image influences every part of your life. This image was built genetically, and it was also built when you were a little kid. If you were raised with praise, you're more likely to grow up to be a confident adult. If you were raised with constant criticism, it is highly likely you grew up to be a more insecure adult. Self-image controls the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you look, the way you dream, the way you love, all of it. The outcomes you are getting in your life today are always a reflection of what is going on inside. A confident person has a real understanding of who they are, of the dynamics of their personality, of their spirituality. They understand the power of their mind. They understand something about themselves, and they like themselves. They have a good self-image. By contrast, the person who doesn't have a good understanding of themselves and is super critical of themselves feels inferior. They have a poor self-image. Regardless of the image that you hold, I believe 100% you can improve it. I am of the opinion that you and I have been created in God's image. We have mind-blowing capabilities. But just like a computer gets viruses, our beautiful self-image gets overtaken by virus codes of doubt, insecurity, and flat-out lies. It is our responsibility to get rid of that virus code, to let our perfection shine through. How do we do this? We have to become students of ourselves. You need to study you. The more you study you, the better image you're going to have of yourself. I mentioned last week about a thermostat controlling the temperature of the room. If somebody leaves the door open and it's hot outside, the thermostat is going to feel that and make that air conditioning click on to keep the temperature at 70 degrees no matter what. We don't have to do anything. That thermostat operates automatically. Well, guess what? The same is true about how we think about ourselves. In other words, we get to set the temperature on the thermostat of our life by the kinds of thoughts we choose to think. Think for a moment about a rocket. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, obviously, but they tell me that rockets feel their way to their destination. The cybernetic mechanism inside of them continues to keep them on course. So the rocket veers off course, the cybernetic mechanism keeps it back on course. It's this off course, back on course, off course, back on course dance that happens all the way on its way to the moon or wherever. In other words, you and I have a self-image. And when we deviate from whatever that self-image is, our cybernetic mechanism brings us back on course. It's the reason we gain and lose the same 10 pounds over and over again. So we lose the 10 pounds, but if we have an image of ourselves being a certain weight, that cybernetic mechanism is going to kick in and help us find those 10 pounds we lost. Studies have been done on lottery winners. People who suddenly receive a large windfall of cash are back to where they started from financially within 3 years of claiming their prize. Our cybernetic mechanism keeps us at the income level where our image believes it needs to be. So I think by now you can see the importance of having a really healthy self-image. But how do we change it? First, we have to realize that we have an image of ourselves in our subconscious mind. Your results are a reflection of your image. If you don't like your results, you can change your image. So let me ask you, if your external world is a reflection of your self-image, what is your external world telling you about the self-image you hold of yourself today? If you're recognizing you need to change your self-image, you need to deliberately put your conscious mind to work for you. Consciously and deliberately choose the kind of person you want to be. Sit down and ask yourself, who do I really want to be like? Who is someone who has character qualities I truly admire? For me, I'm someone who regularly invests in coaching with people whom I really admire, people who are further down the road than me, who can get me the results that I'm really wanting. They have the wisdom and the skills that I want in my own life. Once you figure out those character qualities and who it is you'd like to emulate, then you need to write down the I am statements. I am in present tense, whatever character quality you're really wanting to build. You do it as an exercise of your intellect, your mind. And once you've got this list written down, you read it over and over again. Again, we're talking about repetition. Repetition is your friend. You say these things over yourself often enough, and it's then that you start to see yourself as that person. This is what is called imagined reality, and it really gets fun because it's an acting technique. In acting, it could be likened to the method, where actors immerse themselves in a character to the point where they feel they literally become that person. You are acting as if the things on that list, those I am statements, are who you really are, even when you don't see a manifestation of it yet. Think about iconic acting performances in movies you love. Actors do a really interesting thing. They study their character. If they don't know the backstory on the person that they're playing, they make a backstory up. Actors take a script and internalize it and become that person. They act as if. Most people are extras in their own movie, but it's time for you to make yourself the star. Imagine your life as a movie being played out, because in many ways, your life is like a movie. You are the director, you are the producer, you are the casting agent, you're even the executive producer. What is your movie like? What kind of movie is it? Who are the characters in your movie? Are you the star or the supporting actor? What is the plot line of your movie? Now imagine your movie 1 month from now, 12 weeks from now, even 1 year from now. How does your plot line change? What would you like to happen in the movie of your future? Build the picture. Think about it often, and then totally relax and become that. The image that is attached to your subconscious mind is how the rest of the world will see you. Nobody can alter it, but you can alter it. Choose a better story. Choose to be happy. Choose to be the star of your own show. There is a science of control and communication locked up inside you. It's your self-image. Build a better self-image. See yourself as everything you can possibly be. You are made in God's image, and God does not make junk. Nobody can guess at what you're able to do, and anybody who's tried to limit you over the years has been totally wrong. Overcome the limiting beliefs and break through the ceilings that have been imposed upon you. I'm here to remind you and wake you up to be good to yourself, to love yourself. There's something so powerful about you, and it is high time you realized it. Be brave this week. Show up for your own life. Be the star in your movie this week. All of this may sound foreign and even maybe a little scary, but I promise you, if you will do this, you will not regret it. You will not believe how things start to open up for you. If you like this video today, I would be so appreciative if you give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me. And if you thought this was great, please share it with someone you know needs the encouragement. Keep finding your voice. Keep making your sound in the world today. The world is literally waiting for what you and only you bring. And remember, you are loved. Have a great week.